Hello everyone, welcome to First Code Academy. Today we're going to do a project on App Inventor called Name Generator. In this project, you'll be creating a simple mobile app in which the user will answer a few questions and a superhero name will be generated according to the user's answer. So let's have a look at a demo here of the app. So the first question is, what is your favorite color? We can click here to choose one. And as you can see, we have quite a few options. I'm gonna go with pink. All right, and what is your potato chip flavor? I'm gonna go with flaming hot. And then what do you like to do in your free time? I'm gonna go ahead with watch YouTube. And then I'm gonna click generate now to see what my superhero name is. And I get Incredible Invisible Fairy. All right, so to begin, let's start with creating the appearance of the app. So now I'm in my App Inventor project. I'm going to go ahead with adding a label. All right, and then I'm going to go to text and type in the question. So my first question is, what is your favorite color? Okay, so as you can see, now our label is displaying that. Now the next step would be to add in the options for the user to choose. So we're going to use a list picker to do that, and we're going to drag it to below our label. All right, now we don't want it to say text for list picker one. So we're going to go to text, delete that, and type in choose one. All right, now what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and add in the options. We're going to do that in elements from string. Now, since I'm going to add in 12 options, I have typed my options somewhere else. I'm going to go ahead from that place and paste it onto my elements from string. All right, so these are my options. I added in 12. So as you can see, okay, I'm going to zoom in. You need to make sure that you separate your options with a comma. Okay, so I have red, orange, yellow, green, turquoise, all the way to white. All right, so that's my first question and options done. I'm going to go ahead and add in my second question. Okay, and go to text. My second question will be, what is your favorite potato chip flavor? Favorite potato chip flavor. Okay, and then grab a list picker, just like we did. Go to text, make it choose one again. All right, and then it's time to go to elements from string and add in your options. So I have them typed somewhere else as well. These are my options. I have classic barbecue, salt and vinegar, sour cream, all of that in here. Okay, and I separate them with a comma. So you can drag the corner of the text box right here so that you can see your options. Okay, now I'm going to go with my third question. And I'm going to type in, what do you like to do in your free time? Like to do in your free time. All right, what do you like to do in your free time? Okay, and then grab a list picker, change the text to choose one, and then add in the options. All right, I'm going to have a look. Okay, so these are my options right here. Now, the last thing is we need to go ahead and add in a button. So this button is going to be the thing you click, which will generate the superhero name for you. So we get the button. We change the text to generate superhero name. All right, generate superhero name. And then we need a label again to show the users what their superhero name is. So this one, I'm going to go to text and change it to your superhero name is. Okay. And the label that's actually going to show you the superhero name. Another one right there below the label. Okay, and for this one, we won't know what it is until they have chosen their option. So we're going to make it blank. We can go to text delete text for label 5. All right, and what we want to do is we want to rename this label because we have quite a bit of labels. Okay, so when we code, it's going to be easier if you rename them so that you know which ones you actually want to put the text in. So you rename it to result. Okay, so all right, so we have our 3 questions. We have the button to generate the superhero name. We have the label that shows your superhero name is, and then the actual label, okay, called result. That's going to display it. And that's it for the app design. We're going to go ahead and start coding next. All right, so now I'm in the blocks mode where we're going to do the coding for the app. Now to start with, we have to prepare a list of names that match with the user's selection. So I'm going to do color list, flavor list, and hobby list. All right, so we go to variables. We're going to initialize 3. Okay. And then the first one, since I'm asking about color, I'm going to change it to color list, like so. Right? And I'm going to make a list of all of the choices. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add 12 because I gave the users 12 choices in the beginning to choose from. All right, so now I have 12 choices right here. I'm going to go ahead and type in my first one. So my first one right here, let's say in the beginning for the color, the user chose red. Then I'm going to go ahead and say what their first part of their superhero name is going to be if they chose red. So for me, I'm going to go with Captain. All right. Now the second bit, okay, if they choose another color, I'm going to make the first part Doctor. Okay, duplicate it, put it here. Then the other one will be the Great. All right, and then I'm going to do Turbo. Okay, so you can keep duplicating for each of the options that you provided. Okay, so this is the first part of the superhero name, which is generated from when the user chooses a color. Okay, and then my last one will be invincible. So the first part of the name is done, all right, which is generated from the color list. So I'm going to shrink it and keep it here. Now, the second part is going to be from the flavor of the potato chip, right? So we can name this flavor. Okay. Chip flavor, maybe. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and add in the options again. So I'm actually going to copy this one right here. Okay, duplicate and close this, put it here. And of course, I'm going to change in the options in here. So for the flavor list, the first one I'm going to add is evil. And of course, you can choose your own name. So I'm going to go with Speedy. So these are all superhero powers. So evil, speedy, funny, flying, mind reading. So that's from the chip flavor. These are the words, the second part of the superhero name. Now for the third part, it's going to be from hobby. Okay, and then again, I'm going to make a list of words. So I'm going to put this right here. All right, now the first word I'm going to do is ninja and maybe agent. All right, so these are all the words that I'm going to use to generate the superhero name. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and update the selection after an answer has been picked. All right, so we need to update the listpicker.txt in all three listpicker components. Now, we're going to do that by going to listpicker, okay, listpicker1. And we're going to say when listpicker1.after picking, we're going to do that for all three list pickers. Okay, change this to listpicker2. And then lastly, we have listpicker3. All right, listpicker1, listpicker2, and listpicker3. And then after we have that, we're going to say, okay, we want to change the text of the list picker to whatever the user has chosen. So to do that, we're going to say we want to set, okay, listpicker.text to whatever the user has chosen. So that would be listpicker.selection. Okay, right here. All right. So the first one is done. We can just duplicate it and then put it into the second one. But don't forget, make sure you change it to listpicker2. And then the last one would be listpicker3. All right. Okay, I'm also going to shrink these blocks. So I'm going to collapse, collapse, and then collapse. Okay. All right. Now, after I'm done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is I want the name to be generated according to the user's choice. So if the user's choice is the first selection in the list picker 1, then the name generated will be the first name in the first list. So it would be this list right here, right? Okay. And then I also want to check the selection, and we'll create a procedure to select the selection list and obtain the index from the user's choice, which we will name check selection, right? And we want to call check selection when the user presses the generate button, and pressing the generate button also resets the list picker text to choose one. Okay, so we're going to initialize 3 things, some variables. Okay, and the first one, like I said, we're going to make it selection 1. Selection 1, selection 2, and selection 3. All right, now after we do that, we need to go ahead and put in empty text boxes, like so, okay, because we're not sure yet what they will choose. So put that here, like a placeholder. Okay, and then next, we would need to set the 3 variable to store the selected items from the list. Okay, so to do that, we're going to need to open these 3 codes right here. And then we say, all right, set. Okay, so we see selection 1. So set selection 1 to whatever we have chosen. So that would be list picker 1 dot selection index. right? Because we want to match what we chose to what the name will be. Selection index. Okay, so we can copy this, put it right here. Now make sure it's Listpicker 2 and selection 2. Oops, this one should have been Listpicker 2. Okay, and then lastly, for our Listpicker 3, change it to selection 3 and Listpicker 3. And make sure to change this one right here as well. All right. So now whenever the user chooses something, we're going to match it to one of the options here. Okay, for each of the questions, they're going to be matched to one of these words. Okay, now I'm going to shrink them again. Now that we have the selection index, we need to create the procedure block to select the selection list and obtain the index from the user's choice, which we will name as check selection. So we're going to go to procedure, all right? It's the purple color block. And then we are going to say to procedure result. And like I said, we're going to name this check selection. So check selection. All right. And then we are going to have 2 parameters. So we can have inputs, right? 2 inputs. Now, the first input, we are going to call it list. Okay, so list. The second input, we're going to call it selection index. Like so. So list and selection index. And then we're going to go ahead and say to list. And we're going to say select list item, list and index. Okay. For the list, it will depend on which list you've got. So get list. And then index, it will be just the parameter we did, the input we did, which is get selection index. All right, now that we're done with this part, okay, we're going to go ahead and code the generate button. So we can go ahead, that's button 1. Okay, so when button 1 .click, something should happen. Okay, I'm going to shrink these ones again. Okay, shrink all of those. Okay, when button 1 .click. So when button 1 .click, we need to set the name label now. So the label that's going to show your superhero name. So that's result right here. And then set result.text to something. Okay, we put that right here. And we have 3 components in the superhero's name. So we need to use something called join. It's right here in text. Okay, bring that and connect it here. All right, now that we have join, we're going to call the procedure that we have created. Okay, so we're going to call check selection. Okay. Then in the call check selection, we're going to get, first of all, the color list. Okay, so we go to variables, we get this method. Okay, now selection index. So which one they have selected. We're going to go ahead and get selection 1, okay, which is a variable we we initialized here. Get selection 1. Okay. All right. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to add a little bit of space in between each word, right? We don't want them all stuck together. So we're going to add in an empty text box like so. All right. And then we need 2 more words. So we need to add some more spaces. Okay. And we also need to think about the space in between the words. So I'm going to add in, let's say, this much. All right, so 4 more. Then I'm going to duplicate this, call again, but this time it's not colorless, it's your chip flavor list and global selection 2. Put in the spacer again, all right? And then lastly, we call the selection right here, change it to get global hobby, and it would be your third selection, all right? And for this one, since it's the last word, we don't really need the space, so I'm going to remove it. Okay, you can just drag it out like that. All right. Then that's it for the coding part of this app. Okay, so you can go ahead and try it using your Android phone by clicking on Connect and AI Companion, or you can use BlueStacks, an app where you can look at Android apps. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this project, and remember to give us a thumbs up if you like it, and don't forget to hit subscribe button to get new tutorials. And thank you. Bye.